Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Coach Fred Uganda. I want to speak a little bit about investment, especially to the young entrepreneurs. So young entrepreneurs, you have that inferiority complex over investing. You don't want to invest. And sometimes when you're still young, you think that the time for investing has not yet come for you. So you feel like you should eat whatever that comes in your pocket. I've seen one of my daughters, Mercy. Each time she does an activity at home, I give her some money. But she wants to invest that money. She's always asking me, Daddy, how can I make this money expand? How can I make this money produce more money? So investment is all about making the little money you have become more money. In fact, the reason as to why people invest is because they want their money to multiply. So now the magic that you're supposed to use in order for that little money to expand is what we call investment. If you don't want your money to expand, then you don't need to invest. So very many people, they think that investment needs very big amount of money. But for those who have bigger amount of money, they are still investing because they want to get more money. So for young entrepreneurs, this is my word to you. Start with a little that you have. Go ahead and develop your idea. Because even when you have a lot of money, but if you don't have an idea, if you don't know how, where, and what to invest in, then you will never get there. So all investors are very rich. So investors are risk takers. If you're looking at your small amount of money and you're like, if I lose it, then I'm not going to recover it immediately, so I cannot invest it. Even putting it in your pocket is at risk. Thieves will come, attack you, and take away the money. You will start touching all the money, buy salt, buy a dress, or buy something, and the money will just reduce instead of letting that money grow. So there are so many ways how you can invest that little money and it keeps expanding. So making the money expand needs much of your knowledge, needs much of your time, needs much of your energy, and at the same time it needs much of your prayer. So maintain that focus over something that you want to do. You must have tried a number of economic activities, but now it's the right time for you to see that this is where I belong. Much as I've tried this and that, but now this is where I belong. If you belong to the farming environment, then go ahead and choose what do you want to farm. What do you want to take care of? Do you want to be a poultry farmer? You want to be a rabbit farmer? You want to be a tomato farmer? Because it is also comprehensive. If you want to be in trade, what do you want to trade in? Do you want to go into clothes? Do you want to go into construction materials? Do you want to go into food? Do you want to go into bakery? So there are a variety of ways where you can invest that small money and it brings more money. But if you have that fear in you that you don't know and you don't want to know, then you will never get there. I've seen young people, young boys and girls who normally wake up, they just sleep, they go to the bars, they take a lot of beer, especially the girls, they go take a lot of beer because men, those who invested before, are buying beer for them, and in the morning they are just vomiting and throwing up because they took a lot of beer that they did not buy. So the reason as to why they are throwing up is because they don't know the pain that someone went through in order to invest. So young people, please, this is the right time to think about your future. This is the right time to think about who you're gonna be in the next 10 to 15 years. Because if the young people are not empowered by Coach Fred Uganda, we are going to face a very big challenge of a generation that is decayed. We are going to face a generation of lazy people. We are going to face a generation of beggars. We are going to face a generation of people who are not self-reliant. But what do we want? Please, I love you, be investors. After you have invested, you need to know the following: total revenue. Total revenue is the amount of money collected after selling a given amount of commodity. So what is your total revenue after you have done a sale? You need to know what is your total cost. Total cost is the amount of money that was invested in order to produce a given amount of commodity. Then when you subtract the total revenue minus the total cost, the balance is your profit or it is your loss. How do we know that this business can still continue? That is what we call the break-even point. So break-even point, this is where the business, it's a point where the business can still face its own costs and then it can go on and on, even when the owner has not received any extra coin. But the business can still stand because it can still face its own costs of production. Now, what is the shutdown point? The shutdown point, this is the point where the business cannot face its own cost anymore. Probably it is making total losses. So it is calling upon you to close. Why do you think some businesses reach the shutdown point? Businesses reach the shutdown point because of so many factors, but the biggest factor is that young entrepreneurs, you start businesses without making enough business survey. You're supposed to go ahead and make a thorough market survey before investing in your money. We have seen those who have not made any survey, they end up starting businesses and businesses end up collapsing. Sometimes you need to know how much money do you want to start with, what are the fixed costs and what are the variable costs. Then you measure and see if really your fixed cost, if the costs are more than your stock, then just know you are in the wrong place. Go ahead and check on another idea or compress your idea to smaller. Then you start small. You start small with a small cost, a small stock, then you can expand slowly by slowly. That is how young entrepreneurs can check on and be in position to invest, be in position to start small businesses. Start with the little that you have, because we don't have any magic that is going to bring too much money in your life. Even when we are going to keep telling people to give us the money, the amount of money that you cannot afford to have, don't think someone else has it and is going to give it to you free of charge. Yes, we have people of good heart who can help, but no one can give you exactly what you need to survive. It is you to forge your own life. It's you to make magic out of that small money that you have. We have seen so many people who start with a small amount and they keep on expanding and growing and right out there somewhere. So if you're waiting for money to come out of heaven, you're lucky, but I don't think it is going to happen. It is the right time for young entrepreneurs to start fetching for knowledge, to start organizing your ideas and choose from those ideas where you belong. What can you start with? How much little do you need to start with? That is what we are talking about. So young entrepreneurs, don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. Every day, move a step towards the achievement of your own goals. When we are still young, we used to think of having bigger houses, think of having a very nice car. But when do you want to start on that? I'm Coach Fred Uganda. I love you guys.